I love communism. I hate capitalism. That's why I have 100% of my portfolio in China. Burr, 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 burr. Welcome back to Strongman Personal Finance. My name is Christopher Belli. I'm a certified CPA accountant. I'm a fake boglehead investor. I'm the author of the book Stop Being a Broke Loser. It's on Amazon. And we got to do a quick look-see at Alibaba's earnings. I don't know if you guys knew this, but they've actually had flat revenues year over year. Can you imagine all these geopolitical tensions, the lockdowns in China, issues with China's real estate market? Alibaba could potentially have flat revenues. I was watching this video by this guy named Staccato, okay? I've actually had him on my channel. I don't really have a problem with the guy. But he was basically saying, oh, look, Alibaba's revenues are flat. I mean, I told you not to buy this stock, guys. But Alibaba's doomed. And of course, Alibaba went down. The stock went down. That means it is a bad stock that will never recover and will not benefit from certain trends in the Chinese economy and in the Chinese population, and won't grow with the global economy as well. It just won't happen, bro. It's just going to stay at like $90 forever. So let's go do a quick glance at the earnings, okay? Because yeah, they look like crap. They 100% do. Now we can see here their total revenue is basically flat year over year for the 3 months ended June 30th, 2021. So 2021, they had, this is in Chinese currency units, they had 205 of revenue, and then they had 205 in the current year. So you can see their total revenues are flat. Now, if you just aggregate the revenues, you can see there was a 1% decline in China commerce actually in China. I wonder why. International commerce is up 2%. Local consumer up 5%. Caoyao up 5%. Cloud up 10%. That's going to be a big part of their revenue growth going into the future. Digital media down 10%, and innovation initiatives down 30%. Now, what are the big daddies on here? What do you see? Basically, it's the China commerce. That's the big one, okay? But cloud is also, a lot of people expect the cloud to generate Alibaba much more revenue in the future because everybody's in the cloud now, okay? You can upload crap to the cloud. You can use software in the cloud, blah, blah, blah. Cloud's the future, bro, okay? So the cloud grew 10%, which, you compare that to other companies, that's not that great. But China commerce is the biggest daddy on the block when it comes to revenue with Alibaba. So if China commerce sucks, if there's potentially lockdowns and problems in the real estate sector, you could potentially have some issues with revenue in China and with Alibaba stock, perhaps. But does that mean this stock is doomed? Are they just going to have declining revenues? Are the general trends in China going to change at any time in the future? I personally don't think so, and I'll show you why in a second, okay? And does it also mean if a company has flat or declining revenues for one time year over year that they're doomed forever? Well, I'm going to show you another stock that you may have heard of recently that at one point in their past actually had a pretty significant decline in revenues, and now they're one of the largest companies in the world. So we can at least see they had positive income from operations. So their revenue was flat, but their income from operations dropped by 19%. That's freaking bad, okay? And at least they had positive diluted earnings per share. So at least they're profitable. I remember, people were saying, oh, they're not going to be profitable again, blah, 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 blah. Of course they're going to be profitable, okay? And we'll go look at the historic profitability of Alibaba, and you'll see they're a pretty profitable company, okay? So overall, just in a big summary, flat revenue growth, and while they're still profitable from an operational standpoint, their operating profit dropped. And also remember, part of Alibaba's profit is they have ownership in other companies. And according to the rules of accounting, if a company has a net loss, you actually have to write that off on your income statement as a partial owner of that subsidiary. So that's kind of how that works. So keep in mind that affects the profit of Alibaba. So if a lot of companies in China are getting schwacked, which a lot of them did during the pandemic, you're going to see big freaking losses, a lot of big write-offs. But if all these companies start to become profitable again, you're going to see a lot of positive earnings. You're going to see a lot of boosting to the income statement. It's the same thing with Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway has some investments in companies, and in those investments, they have to record the changes in those investments, the profitability of the underlying companies. That gets reflected on Berkshire Hathaway's income statement. And then Berkshire Hathaway has core businesses that it does. And sometimes you have to separate the two. Okay. Now, let me show you why I think this is temporary. I think this is BS. And I'm not selling my shares. And I'm going to diamond hand Alibaba. It's about 5% of my portfolio forever if I have to. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard of Apple, okay? And it looks like Apple, at least in 2021, had $365 billion of revenue. Massive company. Let's go take a gander back in the past and look at 2015. So there was actually a time when Apple had $233 billion of revenue in 2015, and then their revenue declined by about 8% to 2016, where they only had $215 billion of revenue. As a matter of fact, it looks like it took them 2 years to recover from the revenue that they had in 2015. So there was even a time when Apple had declining revenue. And Baba's revenues are flat. You consider all the macroeconomic stuff that's going on, that's actually pretty good. But yes, even Apple, I think it's the largest company in the world by market cap, their revenue had a period of decline. Okay. So am I worried that their revenue was flat? No, I'm not. Okay. Because there are some general trends in China that around the world that I think are going to potentially benefit Alibaba stock in the future. Now, like I said, a lot of people are freaking clowns. And here's all they do. Okay. They look at the stock. Let's look at the last year. They look at the stock and they say, well, it went down. You don't understand, strong man. You got wrecked. You got wiped out. You lost so much money. I didn't lose any money. I'm not worried in the slightest that Alibaba has gone down 50%, 52% in the last year. Why? Because I'm willing to wait in the long run, and I've averaged down a little bit. I've actually stopped buying because I've been spending a lot of money on a lot of different things. So now I'm just focusing on index funds. But if I get a big lump sum of money come in, I'll probably buy a little bit more Alibaba. You do your own research. So you can go buy Tesla or something. But I'm not worried about short-term market fluctuations because I know I cannot predict when a stock is going to go down. I can't do it. It's impossible. You don't know when a stock's going to go down. You can kind of guesstimate like, oh, I think this stock's overvalued and how can this continue? Like Tesla, for example. And then quarter after quarter, it goes down and then it goes back up. And it's like, when is the crash going to come? You can't predict this crap, okay? But if you have a fundamental thesis that you think is going to benefit your stock in the long run, why would you be scared in the short run? It literally doesn't bother me at all that I'm down 30-something% on my investment in Alibaba because I'm willing to wait and hold this stock for a long time. And if I'm wrong, if I'm completely wrong about Alibaba, I still won't get wiped out. I still will not get wiped out. Why? Because 95% of my portfolio is in the Vanguard Total World Stock Market Index. I'm a fake boglehead, as y'all know. So if you just look at some simple metrics, okay, let's go look at the financials, and then you go look at the ratios. So right now the PE ratio is 26. Why? This seems, that's kind of high. Well, it's because their prior earnings were freaking trash. And then we have, because of all the write-downs and, the problems in the Chinese economy and the lockdowns and blah, 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 blah. But I believe they have forward PE in here. I think I saw 10 or something like that. At some point, Alibaba will recover a lot of its prior profitability. Let's go look at their prior profitability, okay? Let's see. 7%. That was in 2021. You see this massive drop. So in 2020, their profitability was 20%, 29%, 23%, 25%, 27%, and then 70%. I'm sure that was an aberration. They're a very profitable company. At least they were in the past. And what people are thinking is, there's these temporary issues going on. And oh my God, what if there's a war with Taiwan? I don't think there will be, personally. I don't think the U.S. wants a war. And I really don't think China wants a war either. And I think the U.S. actually would do something about Taiwan. I think when the Russians invaded Ukraine, they kind of knew that, NATO wouldn't actually attack. They wouldn't actually support the Ukrainians directly. With Taiwan, I really think the United States, unless we're just total bussies, would actually support the Taiwanese. And that would lead to a big freaking war. And right now, our Navy is far superior to China. So I think they know they would get their cheeks clapped. Maybe at some point in the future, there'll be a war, but I think it's going to be a long time. But don't quote me because I didn't think Russia was going to invade Ukraine, and they did. But NATO didn't actually, they didn't actually send any troops in, or if they do, they're clandestine. So that's neither here nor there. So you can look at the prior profitability, and you can see that to me, this seems like a company that's hitting some temporary headwinds. But if you look at the long run trends in China and, in Asia in general and around the world, I think in the long run, this company could benefit. Because if you remember, you go look and you see that at some point in the past, nobody seemed to care about this VIE structure. And then all these crackdowns happened. Everybody's talking about the VIE structure. Every bad thing that somebody can find about Alibaba, they're finding it and talking about it. And the reason they are is because the stock went down. 100%. Just like everybody worships Tesla. Why? Because it went up. Okay? Do I need to show you Apple again? Let's go back and look at Apple. Here's what clowns would do. 2015. Oh, Apple's dead, bro. Apple's dead. Look at the revenue. It went down. It went down, bro. Did they even have a loss that year? What was their profitability that year? If I can actually pull it up. That'd be funny if Apple actually had a loss that year. Let's see. Profit margin. Oh, they stayed profitable at least. But their revenue declined. Oh, Apple's dead, bro. It's not the future anymore, bro. And look at Apple now, okay? There's a lot of reasons Apple's grown. Number one, they have a great freaking product. But we're not talking about Apple. So I'm not worried about it, okay? Now, some people may call this BS, and they may say, oh, China will never pass the Western world, at least in GDP. I don't agree with that, okay? I think of the country with 1.3, 1.4 billion people that's taking huge leaps and bounds towards, modernity and, basically, bringing their entire population or the vast majority into the middle class. I think at some point, China will surpass us in GDP. Does that mean life's going to be better in China than it is in the US? No, but at some point, with the amount of people they have and the amount of capitalism they have, which they do have capitalism in China. You're a freaking, if you really think China is communist, you're a clown. You're a massive, massive clown. Okay. It is not, communism is like Soviet Russia. China was communist. They actually were communist at some point. They are definitely not communist now. And I can tell you why, because communism can't keep up with capitalism. That's how we defeated the Soviet Union. The Soviets could not afford to keep up the military expenditures and, to fight the US. They couldn't do it because their economy was trash. And I think China realized that, and that's why they kind of changed their tune, okay? But they have they're not like the Western countries. Obviously they have a very authoritarian government. But at the same time, they do have aspects of capitalism. They have private enterprise, they have, well, I guess they don't have that much freedom, but they do have private enterprise. Okay. There are definitely some aspects of capitalism in China. And if you disagree with that, I don't know what to say to you. Okay. So you can look at here, you can say global GDP projections. All right. Current price GDP estimates and forecasts. So this GDP estimate kind of shows like where the world's going to go over the next, 15 years. And as you can see, at some point, China's GDP is going to pass the United States, and they're projecting in 2030. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen, but I would not be shocked if a country with 1.4 billion people that's very modern will at some point pass the United States. We roughly have 330 million people. Okay. That's just the facts. I'm sorry. So China at some point will pay, even if it's not in 2030. Think about it. Do you think Alibaba, which has a massive part of its business from China commerce, do you think at some point they're going to benefit from this? I think they will, personally. But, you can disagree with me. You don't have to buy Chinese stocks, okay? This is my fundamental thesis. It's like, stocks can go down. There's the risk with war and blah, 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 blah. And I may get wiped out. If there's actually a real war, I'm screwed. Like Baba's done, son. But I don't think there's going to be a war. I don't think either of our countries want a war because that would be a big freaking war. And think about how much debt we've loaded ourselves with, spending all this money on the pandemic. Do you think our nations really want a very expensive war that would cause us to spend even more freaking money and go into deeper debt? I don't freaking think so. But like I said, look what happened with Russia. So you can see China's forecast to add 850 million consumers to its middle class from 2009 to 2030. So a lot of people talk about the demographics of China and like, oh, they have an aging population. Demographics around the world aren't that much better. All the population growth is really in Africa, where they're basically tripling every generation. That's not an exaggeration. And I'm sure that's not going to last forever. And, in some parts in the Middle East. But in most parts of the world, Europe, United States, Canada, Mexico, I believe, most of these countries have below replacement level birth rates. The reason the United States is doing a little bit better is because we have immigration. Okay, that's why we can kind of replenish the population. But at the same time, once people in the United States become, Americanized, which happens, in one generation, they kind of assume the same birth rates of the native population, which are very freaking low, okay? It isn't just a China problem. It's a global problem, except in Africa and the Middle East. So, no, the demographics, blah, 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 blah. But the idea that China is going to collapse because they have an aging population, Japan hasn't collapsed, and their demographics are complete and utter freaking trash. Now, they haven't done great, but they haven't collapsed either. And the real story of China is moving people from poverty into the middle class. China's adding 850 million consumers to its middle class. Europe will add 16 million. The US and Canada will lose 16 million. Wow. I wonder if Baba could potentially benefit from this. I know the stock went down. It went down. I get it. I mean, Tattooed Chef went down too. It's the same thing. Tattooed Chef, Alibaba. Same thing. Same thing, dude. Same thing. But I'm not in here to get you guys to buy the stock, okay? You don't have to buy the stock. But I'm here delivering my fundamental thesis about why I'm holding this stock, and I'm not going to sell it, okay? I have a small part of my portfolio that I dedicate to speculative bets. In my mind, if I'm going to bet on anything, I'm going to bet on something that has a lot of risk, but could have massive rewards at some point in the future. Baba could get wrecked. It could be delisted. There could be a war. There's a lot of risks. But if I turn out to be right and some of these fears start to go away, which I think people forget things very quickly, at some point, I think this stock can make a lot of money. And that's why I'm holding the stock. I don't care. I don't care that it went down. But if you're a clown and you're like, oh, look, it went down. It went down. See? Okay, go buy Tesla. Go buy Tesla. Oh, look at the price target, bro. Look what the analyst said, 162. So that's kind of my thoughts. I mean, at the end of the day, the earnings, whatever, revenue was flat. Earnings are down, still positive. And most of the growth percentage-wise came from cloud, but the big daddy on the block is China commerce, and that was down 1%. I don't think that's going to last forever, personally. I think we're going to have a lot of trouble in the near term. But if you look 5, 10, 15 years down the road, I don't know. Call me crazy, but I think I could potentially make a lot of money off this. And if I don't, okay. I still got VT, my ET. I can't wait to see the reactions to this. But it went down. It went down, bro. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, there's so many comments. Holy crap. Strong man's a communist. I am. I'm an avowed communist. Just like China's communist, bro. They have a stock market. That is the essence of communism, is to have a stock market. And private enterprise. Let's see. China number one. Now people think, life's going to be better in China. I mean, no, it doesn't mean life in China is going to be better than the United States. I'm just saying they have 1.4 billion people, and they're a pretty modern economy. I've actually been to China. I don't know if you guys knew that. I've been to China. It's a long time ago, but I remember they had buildings and cars and phones. It was crazy. It was almost like a modern country, just dirtier. Let's see. Tesla got hurt by Chinese lockdowns, but stock go up. Baba gets hurt by lockdowns, stock go down. We must be dumb. It is hilarious. All these Tesla people, they're like, oh, China risk, bro. China, bro. And then like Tesla, obviously a big part of their market is China. It's like, but Tesla went up, man. You're not worried about the real estate collapse to affect the overall economy. I mean, people have been saying it's going to collapse forever. Is it? I don't know. And think about it long run. So people make fun of me of this, but think about this. Let's say they have a real estate crisis, right? Did we not have a real estate crisis in the United States? What happened? Okay, we almost destroyed the world economy. We did. It was all based mostly in the United States because we issued a bunch of loans to a bunch of freaking clowns and they all defaulted. We packaged these loans and these securities and everybody thought these were like grade A securities and all these different institutions held them and they were a bunch of crap loans. And when people started to figure out that these loans were trash, that caused a mass panic because now everybody's like, well, is this company that I lent to going to go out of business? Are we going to go out of business? Everything's going to collapse? We almost collapsed the freaking world. But look 10 years down the road, 15 years down the road. In the long run, even if there is some kind of collapse, I don't think China is finished. I don't think they're done, okay? I mean, think about all the crap that we've survived. Yeah, we're still going strong. But, maybe there might be a collapse, but I can't predict that. I can't predict macroeconomic stuff. I don't know. People say the U.S. is going to collapse. I mean, that's not going to stop me from buying VT, which has 60% U.S. stocks. Oh, we got to do the sponsorship, everybody. Don't go away. I will get to your comments. Ladies and gentlemen, how could I continue this video without first addressing my sponsor, Sprytac.com? Sprytac provides a variety of different pants that you can use for any kind of outdoor activities. These pants are heavy-duty 100% ripstock tactical cargo pants that have been tested by Green Berets, Navy SEALs, FBI, EMTs, search and rescue. These pants have 12 pockets for maximum storage, lining for knee pad inserts, YKK zippers, buttons, and hook and loop for the highest reliability. As a former member of the military, I always value a pair of pants that are durable but also comfortable. I have personally tested these pants, and I can assure you this is an outstanding product, and they're only $99, which is an extremely good deal. So if you're interested in these pants, go check out Sprytac.com and get yourself a pair. It's my first sponsor, guys. It's very near and dear to my heart. Okay, but I mean, go check out the pants. They're really not that bad, and I'll be doing a full dedicated video about them very, very soon. Where do you get those sunglasses, AliExpress? I'm not going to tell you. I only buy from China because I'm an avowed communist. You're completely right about that. Just buy Tesla, bro. Tesla went up. Baba went down. Baba's the same as Tattooed Chef because Tattooed Chef went down. You understand? It's the same thing. Niche soy boy company, massive online retailer in China. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Baba's numbers are cooked. Maybe, maybe not. I find it hard to believe that such a massive company is just, complete BS. I mean, I don't know, but another big hope I have is that at some point we do strike some kind of auditing deal. You want to see China stocks go up? Woo, boy. Gross margins are going down too. Yeah, I mean, Bob has been freaking hammered. Okay, like every bad thing that could happen. But in my mind, it's the long-term trend that I'm willing to wait on. Are these declines in margins temporary or long-term? I don't know, but I can at least look at the big scale, the big picture and say, hey, I think China will continue to grow faster than the United States. I think they'll surpass the United States at some point in GDP. I think Baba can benefit from that. I'm willing to wait. That's why I'm not scared. It's like, right or wrong, we'll see. Let's see. What is the difference between GAAP and non-GAAP profits? So GAAP is generally accepted accounting principles. Basically, you have to match expenses to revenues, and there's a certain process. Like the GAAP is basically, U.S. accounting standards. Non-GAAP is when people do things like EBITDA, where they have a different metric for profitability, where they say, okay, we'll add back interest and taxes and depreciation and amortization because we just will. And that's non-GAAP. It's basically something that doesn't follow the rules of accounting. Or like another thing that's non-GAAP is like reports for management, like managerial accounting. They won't do certain things that match GAAP because that helps management understand, certain things about their business, like, contribution margins, stuff like that. So GAAP is the rules of accounting, the actual set rules of US accounting. Non-GAAP is whatever clowns want to do to make themselves look good. So I like GAAP. Okay, why? Because I'm an accountant. Once the recession of the frozen food section picks up, Tattooed Chef will go up. Man, if Tattooed Chef goes up and Baba keeps going down, I'm gonna give up forever. Net income includes all non-operating events, sales of divisions, equity, blah, 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 blah. China will invade Taiwan in September, and all you clown investors will cry. I just don't see it. There's a difference between Russia going into Ukraine, where we didn't agree we were going to fight Russia if they invaded, versus, we have an agreement, like we were going to defend Taiwan. Like I don't think they want a war like that because they can't win that war. Ignore the risks. I think the risks are unlikely. People are like, they're going to invade Taiwan. I don't see it. I don't know. Do you think China's demographic problems will impact their growth? If so, to what extent? I have no idea how exactly they're going to impact their growth. But look at around the world. Most countries have below replacement level birth rates. Europe's, even the United States, we're still doing fine. I mean, Japan has horrible demographics. They haven't imploded either. But exactly how it's going to impact it, I have no freaking idea. You as a U.S. military certified should be the first to not invest in Bob because you should understand military risk and accounting fraud. Chinese do. Yeah, the military risk is I don't think China wants a war with the United States. Okay, we have a much better Navy. They would crush them. Why would they do that? Especially after they're coming off of this pandemic and their economy's fragile. Why would they start a war right then? They would wait until they're in a position of strength. Like, okay, we'll just wait maybe 10 years. We'll have a much better Navy. The U.S., maybe they have their own issues at that point. Then they can freaking start a war. But I don't see it right now. And when it comes to the accounting fraud, I mean, like I said, I don't buy small businesses in China, but I think Alibaba is a legitimate business. And I think most of their numbers are probably correct. Okay. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Your biggest fan does realize the numbers on Yahoo Finance for Baba are in. Oh, really? Doesn't China have a lot of people retiring soon? Doesn't have enough yet. Yeah, the whole world has that. If you want to invest in demographics, go invest in Africa and the Middle East. I'm serious. Go do it. Go look at the United States birth rates. Really, go look it up. They're not good. Look at Europe, trash. And where do you think the majority of your stocks are? They're in freaking the United States. Well, most of you are probably U.S. stock investors. But some of you probably have European stocks. European demographics are awful. They're horrible. But yeah, go invest in Africa, bro. Go invest in the Middle East. Your fundamental analysis, Bob, is all about macroeconomics. Do you do a deep dive about the actual business? Yeah, I mean, I can at some point. China only accepts U.S. countries in as long as you agree to have a Chinese sponsor. In turn, they steal the company's operations. Yeah, tell that to Tesla investors. LaFufu even knows Bob is. Yeah, it went down. It went down. It's just hilarious to me. Like, imagine China's like this, surpasses the United States in GDP at some point. They're the largest country economically at some point. They have a massive population with a growing middle class. And you guys really think Bob is just going to stay at like $80 forever? Really? You really think that? Maybe. He criticized people that buy stocks as they go up, but he does the same as he buys because it went down and don't care about the risk and if the business isn't good. So you think Baba's you think it's going to go bankrupt? What do you think? And yeah, I'd rather buy a stock that went down than went up. Of course. Everybody buys stocks because they go up. This is so clear to me. I don't know how you guys don't see this. What does everybody talk about? They talk about Tesla. I wonder why. And then you see the stocks that go down, all the trash, all the hate comes in. It's like, oh, this and that, and this and that. Everybody was buying ARK. Everybody was talking about ARK last year. I was like, that's trash. And guess what? ARK got decimated. Everybody's saying Bob is trash now, and it's like, okay, I don't see any change to my fundamental thesis. I don't see it. But you know what? You do what you want to do. Dun, 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 dun. Strongman on here talking about China and positive life. I'll peace out next stream. I mean, I would say China's like an amazing place that does wonderful things, but I'm focusing on the economics. You guys get so sensitive about this. It's like, I'm here to make money. You think I love the CCP? No. I just want to make money. Massive risk, high reward. Sounds like Strongman is trying to get his own Tesla. This is very high risk. I'm not going to say it's not high risk. 100% very risky. The problem is that Bob is losing market share from JD since their target audience is mainly comprised of the upper middle class. Plus, buying grocery stores won't help margins. That is true. That's a consideration. I also have some JD. You know what I'm saying? When is Strongman going to analyze Rick? I already did. It's a stripper company. China has a stock market for foreign investors. I think their own citizens don't invest in it. Well, if this real estate bubble ever pops, they might change their minds. I did forget to apply the common sense factor. You did. Knee pad insert should help Lofufu at the truck stop. Julius, I'm neutral on them. Plus, you're not really a shareholder anyway when you invest in China. I mean, that is true. That's true. I mean, yeah, I'm saying this is not like the perfect. There's a reason this stock has been freaking wrecked. Okay. But like I said, a lot of these risks that people are worried about. Oh, there's going to be a war. Oh, the CCP is just going to plunder Baba. I just don't see it. It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, why would they start a war right after this massive economic catastrophe we just went through with us, the United States, who have a massive navy that would freaking obliterate them? Am I buying into Meat Breath's new company? No, I'm not. Why don't you think China will win that war? Just want your... Because we have a much better navy. I mean, we're never going to invade China, and China's never going to invade us. But our navy is far superior to China's navy. Far superior. And yeah, I'll probably get mobile. I'll probably have to go fight. You guys call me the communist. I'll be the one fighting the Chinese. You look like you smell like cheeseburgers. We have plenty of accounting fraud in the... That's another funny thing. It's like everybody, like every time somebody talks about China, like, oh, they have fraud and they have a real estate bubble. And oh my God. It's like, I mean, I love my country, but yeah, we've had all that crap too. Why do you think we have all these laws and the PCAOB? Why was that created? Because of accounting fraud. But at some point, like, you know, China, if they want people to invest in their country, if they want money to flow into their country, which helps them grow and, you know, become a dominant power at some point, which you gotta think about China. Like, China was humiliated in the last century. Like, every Western power just like plundered them. You know, they were everybody's bitch, and they're not happy about that. Okay. So you think they want to be, they want to be a more powerful nation that will never allow foreigners to come in and plunder them again, which that's reasonable. I get it. It sucks they have a communist party, but yeah, like every time there's something to, oh, there's fraud, blah, blah, blah. It's happened in the United States. Ooh. You've done it strong, man. I used to be all S&P with now I'm total world stocks. I've heard it from other people, but you were the one to convince me. Bum, bum, bum. I filled your head with disinformation. I invest in international and U.S. fully diversified with my Tesla. You got China, bro. You know that, right? China has nothing on strongman. Well, besides, the CCP pays me to pump up Baba. The VIE structure gives little to no protection. So here's how I think about this. Why would China want people to stop giving them money? They want the money. Why would they get rid of the structure? It doesn't make sense to me. Imagine if no capital went into China. That would crush them. That would hurt them. They need capital coming in to fund their economic expansion. But, oh, we're just going to screw over every Western investor, and then nobody will invest in us anymore. And then how are we going to raise money? I don't know. It's like, whatever. They're a lot safer. Yeah, it's very risky, but I'm not worried about it. I'm willing to wait. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's like, okay, I'll just never buy Chinese stock again. Strawman making more off ad revenue from Baba videos than he has invested. That is true. That is true. I will not dispute that. I don't think Baba will go bankrupt. I feel the CCP will confiscate the shares from international investors. I think they are waiting for a crisis. They don't want foreign. Okay, yes, they do want foreigners owning them. Okay, I believe there's a law in China where foreigners can't own shares in certain businesses, like actual shares. Think about this. Do you think the Chinese government doesn't know about the VIE structure? Or do you think they turn a blind eye to it? Why? Maybe because it benefits them. You think China doesn't know that foreigners own these stocks or these VIEs or whatever? Of course they do. Bunch of snowflake, no step on snake boys in the chat. Did you hear that Joseph Carlson is selling out of Bob? That's the bottom. We're at the bottom, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing that has changed my mind about Baba whatsoever. My brother lives in Beijing and they're still going through. Yeah, they're freaking. I don't know what's up with them about the lockdowns. Like they should just open up like the United States did. They're ridiculous. That's one thing that's really screwing them. Alibaba's audited by PwC. It's just complete fraud. There's never been fraud in the United States. We're perfect. We've never had a real estate collapse before. We're perfect, bro. And whenever a company has revenue that went down or flat, it's just dead. I told you not to buy the stock, bro. If we end up in a Cold War scenario, economic warfare is probably the route we go. Yeah, but we're extremely interdependent with China. I mean, obviously, I think we're trying to get away from that, but we're the two largest countries by GDP in the world. We're very interconnected. With Baba, you also get a chunk of Ant, which will be the biggest IPO in history. Strong commie play. Alipay, baby. It's sad people don't realize that it's illegal to commit a crime. Can't wait to fight alongside you in the Strait of Taiwan. Yeah, I mean, if there's a war, actually, I would be sent to Fort Jackson. That's my place where I would go. I wouldn't be in China. You got Tesla with VT and Tencent. I do. All right, well, I have sold out of Baba. Have to buy more Tattooed Chef at these prices. I know. See, this is my one weakness is I'm 95% VT. Everybody ignores that. But I put 5% in Baba as a speculative play. And I'm just getting hammered because of this. That's just how it is, okay? See, LaFufu sells courses. Oh, I can make you 10x. You can get 30% returns per year. And then his stocks go down. Oh, Jeremy's a genius. Just give him time. Strongman buys one of the largest businesses in the largest country in the world. Oh, it went down. You're stupid. You're just like Jeremy. You should put your full 5% in them. Hell no. Strongman, you can lead the horses to water, but you can't let them drink. Let's see. Strongman, you would invest in Honest My Bonus if Jessica Alba promised you a 1-hour meeting. No. Okay, I would buy one share. Well, I mean, aren't the earnings tomorrow? I'll wait on that. Let me guess. Unprofitable on a GAAP basis. High share-based compensation. China is an enemy of the United States. I just can't get over the fact that they own us and fastest growing economy. American greed will ruin this country. Apparently to the great somebody, your huge traps aren't because you have, oh my God, he believes. Oh, I've heard that. I know. He said there's a person that said they were willing to bet me $10,000 that I am not part Italian and I am in fact 50% Jewish. And I emailed that person. I said, I accept your bet. So, man, if I get 10 grand, what would I do with it? I would do $500 in Baba, maybe 1,000. And guess where the rest would go? Take a guess, guys. Take a guess. VT sucks. You can only buy now at a 50% discount. I get to invest in my stocks at an 80%. Hey, some of these stocks these clowns like, that's true. Please make a video on Palantir and Tattooed. Of course I am. Of course. You think I'm going to miss those? Joseph Carlson like Baba a year ago and bought it because Charlie Munger. Baba went down and he's selling. The guy's trying so hard to beat the S&P. Yeah. I mean, in the short run, like if you're buying an individual stock, don't expect to beat the S&P. Okay. If you're trying to beat the S&P every freaking year, you're going to do something stupid. But oh boy, if Baba ever moons, the amount of trash I'm going to talk. Oh boy. Everybody's bashing on Baba. Everybody. Okay. I see a very strong business, and I see a lot of tailwinds for this company looking at the decades into the future. A lot of you clowns, oh, but the stock went down. It went down. And that's all you talk about. No, I'll do it. All right, guys, that's it. Buy Baba. Put all your money in it. 100% of your money. YOLO. Buy options, calls. 100% of your money in calls on Baba. I'm just kidding. Max your tax advantage accounts, buy Total World Stock Market Index funds. And let's go ahead and do the ad again. Ladies and gentlemen, how could I continue this video without first addressing my sponsor, Sprytac.com. Sprytac provides a variety of different pants that you can use for any kind of outdoor activities. These pants are heavy-duty 100% ripstock tactical cargo pants that have been tested by Green Berets, Navy SEALs, FBI, EMTs, search and rescue. These pants have 12 pockets for maximum storage, lining for knee pad inserts, YKK zippers, buttons, and hook and loop for the highest reliability. As a former member of the military, I always value a pair of pants that are durable but also comfortable. I have personally tested these pants, and I can assure you this is an outstanding product, and they're only $99, which is an extremely good deal. So if you're interested in these pants, go check out Sprytac.com.